Hi, I'm State Senator Randy Richardville, and welcome to the Richardville Report. We're going to be talking today to folks from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority and a local realtor. It's no secret that Michigan has been hit hard by the foreclosure crisis. Home foreclosures rose to a new high last year in Michigan, and many communities are bracing for even more foreclosures this year. My guest today will tell us a little bit about what the Michigan State Housing Development Authority and the Michigan Association of Realtors are doing to help protect homeowners right now from losing their piece of the American dream. Mary Townley is the director of Michigan State's Housing Development Authority's Home Ownership Division. Wow, that's quite a title. And welcome, Mary. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And Brenda Braden is the chair of the Government Affairs for the Monroe County Association of Realtors. And Brenda, it's nice to have you here today as well.
Nice to be here as well.
I understand that the State Housing Authority has a program in place that's helping homeowners who are struggling to make their mortgage payments. Is that true, Mary?
Yes, it is true.
I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the program, because I know that a lot of people that could be facing foreclosure aren't aware of the program, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is to get awareness out there so people know where they can go to get help in a situation like this. Could you maybe get started on telling us a little bit about it?
I'd love to.
Okay.
We have, actually Michigan's been allocated $498 million to be used toward foreclosure prevention for households. So we took a look at the major reason that we were seeing for delinquencies across the state, and it was surrounded towards people that were either unemployed or underemployed. So we created 3 separate programs focusing on that situation for a household. The first program is a unemployment subsidy, where we will provide assistance to that household for up to 12 months, every month for their house payment. That will give them some relief to focus on finding a job, and we will help keep them in that house. The second program is a rescue. We're seeing this program used for households that had a significant happening in their life. They got behind on their mortgage payments. Now that obstacle, they've been able to overcome that, and they're facing an arrearage on their mortgage. So in order for them to continue to stay in that home, they've got to catch it up. So we provide funds directly to their servicer to catch them up and give them the ability to continue on.
Could you, now you talked about a significant hardship. Could you define those or give us some examples of what that is? Because some people, I mean, there's different kinds of hardships. We want to make sure that people understand that before they are misled.
Unemployment, medical, death in the family, even a divorce, something that had a major impact on their ability to make that mortgage payment. We're seeing it used for quite a few people that were unemployed and now they're back to work, but they have that hole there that, you know, caused that delinquency.
Okay, so it's more of a short-term problem versus a long-term problem. Help them to get through a period of time. Can you tell me the periods of times that would be covered?
The amount of delinquency, is that what you're?
Yeah.
Most of the clients that we're seeing right now are over 90 days delinquent by the time that they reach us. It's key for us to catch them up before the sheriff's sale takes place on that home, and that typically is about 120 days. Now,
is this the fund? Because I think is there more than one tool that can be used here? One is the hardest hit fund.
Correct.
Is that the one that you're describing right now?
That is, yes.
Okay, let's say that there are some people out there that have a problem. They've had, whether it was a divorce or a death in the family or an illness or loss of employment, and they've had trouble making their payments for the last, 30, 60, 90 days, something like that. They should contact MSHDA, and you can give them some kind of information and get the ball rolling on what they should do.
Correct. What we recommend is they immediately call their servicer first.
Okay. Now, servicer, like, tell me what a servicer is, because I want to make sure everybody's really clear. A servicer would be a...
The organization that you make your monthly payment to every month.
Okay, so it's probably a bank or a mortgage company or a credit union, something like that, right?
Correct.
So continue then, okay?
Notify your servicer. Let them know what's happening in your life, what's caused your delinquency. Then at that point, they will work with you, and you can contact us at the same time. Once you contact us, we will give you directions on how to apply through an online application, and that's through stepforwardmichigan.org. It takes about 30 minutes. The homeowner, once they hit the submit button, they gather their personal, documentation, pay stubs, bank statements. They get that to us. We analyze their eligibility, and then we take away that stress for that homeowner. We will then call their servicer and champion our funding to that servicer.
Okay, so here I am. I live in Monroe County.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an illness that's put me in the hospital, or maybe I broke a leg or something like that, where I couldn't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get maybe unemployment or some kind of a workman's comp or something, but it wasn't what I would normally get paid if I was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say I got laid off, or some of the other things you said. Then I would call, first of all, Monroe Bank and Trust or the credit union or whoever it is that I have my mortgage with, and say, you know what, I'm having trouble making my payments this month. I'm probably going to have trouble for a couple more months. I want to let you know this, and then I should contact MSHDA. And you gave me a couple different ways. I think one of them was a website. Can you tell me the website again?
It's stepforwardmichigan.org.
Is that all spelled out? Stepforwardmichigan.org?
Correct.
Or let's say that I'm more old-fashioned and prefer not to get online, and I wanted to make a phone call. Is there a phone number that I could call?
Yeah, we do have a call center, and if you call them, they will take your application over the phone. We're seeing many families that either don't have a computer or they're not comfortable with that process.
Right.
They really want us to speak to a person. So it's 866-946-7432.
Okay, can you give us that one more time just in case somebody's scrambling for a pencil out there or something? It might be on the screen, but I don't know if it is. So could you do it one more time?
Stepforwardmichigan.org or 866-946-7432.
All right, Mary. Thanks a lot. And now, Brenda, you've got some programs too. I know that I've worked closely with the Michigan Association of Realtors in several counties statewide, and of course with the locals like yourself. And you chair the Government Relations Committee. Is that it?
I do. Yeah.
And you have a program too. You might as well go ahead and say what company you work for.
I work for the Danbury Company Realtors.
Okay, and where are they located?
Actually, I manage the Michigan branch. We're in Temperance, Michigan.
Awesome.
We're a regional company in both Ohio and Michigan.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the program that the Realtors have put together then.
You know, the biggest thing as Realtors, I think what we see in the process is we can be an conduit for bringing people together and helping to build relationships so that these people that are struggling, these homeowners, can get through to the correct people and start the communication process and basically make a determination. Is it a short-term issue? Are they back on their feet? Do they need some interim help? Is it a long-term issue where they unfortunately may need to leave the housing market, reestablish themselves and come back to the market? We see ourselves in that process of, helping people. We talked earlier, we got a chance to meet before the show, and one of the things that as Realtors I think we think near and dear to our heart is people don't care how much you know until you know how much, did I say that backwards? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we don't see ourselves as just marketing properties and getting them sold. We see ourselves as obviously that's an important role in our process, but being able to help consumers that are struggling, that need to reach people like the MSHDA program. There's also federal programs available. So through our association, we try diligently to educate our agents so that they're aware of these programs, so that when they receive phone calls from past clients, maybe new relationships, friends or family or whoever, somebody that reaches out to them can help with the process.
So you mean today that you're working in a realtor's office, and that I maybe didn't buy or sell or anything to do with your agency, that I could say, I heard about this Realtors program, I'm going to call Brenda and ask her about it. That you are equipped to direct people how they can maybe access this program or federal programs or other things that are available?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We feel that's our role, to make sure that we have the knowledge and education to pass on to the general public to help in the process. We're here to to help and extend a helping hand.
Wow, that's great. Now, are all realty companies or realtors in Monroe County participating, or do we not know that?
Yeah, I don't think we have a, I don't know that we know that for sure. I know that as an association, we have a education committee that works hard to bring in people such as, from Mary's division to help educate our agents to make sure that they are well educated on the, and another thing we talked about was these programs are coming at us, from so many different directions. It's a constant process to come up with some things to help these struggling homeowners, and I think that's a good thing. I think the thing is that people are acknowledging that and constantly forward thinking in that in their thought process. So we work hard to do our best to know those things, but we certainly always have room to learn more.
Well, and along those lines, Mary, maybe if you could help with this. Okay, I've seen this program. I've got some issues getting my payments, and so I need to call somebody. I can call. I can either call a realtor like Brenda, or I can call MSHDA. The numbers, the information you gave us about the website. What information are you going to ask me? What do I need to have in front of me, either for that telephone call or when I get on their website? I mean, you're going to want my mortgage payment books? Are you going to want my insurance? What is it that I should be prepared to give to you?
We will ask for information about where you live, your county, if you have your legal description, who you make your monthly payment to, what's the name of that organization, what's your account number, who your employer is, what your annual income is, and we will take all of that information, and that's how we determine eligibility for the program. Okay. So if you can, amass all that information prior to your application, your on-time, application on the internet will only be about 30 minutes. Okay, now it's obvious that we have a representative from MSHDA, which is the whole state of Michigan, and Brenda works in southern Monroe County. But these programs are in all of my district, not just Monroe County. There's also in Washtenaw County and Jackson County and all parts of all of those places. So, and also Lenawee and other places that I don't represent, because you may know somebody that's in trouble, and if you do know somebody that's in trouble, let them know. But you don't have to be delinquent in your payments in order to qualify for these programs or for this program. Is that accurate? The monthly subsidy program, that is correct. Let's say you just got your notice of unemployment. You're going to start drawing unemployment compensation, and you know that with that new income monthly, you're not going to be able to make your payment. We would prefer that you get to us and get to your servicer right out of the gate so that it doesn't create a delinquent credit report delinquency that shows up. We'd rather get you the help right out of the gate. If you wait 60 or 90 days, your options become much more limited, and the opportunities for you to get help, it causes more problems, plus it'll ruin your credit.
So it's okay to be proactive and say, I think I'm going to have a problem. Let me call and see if I qualify.
That's correct, right.
Okay, and the other thing, Brenda, it's possible that if we do wait till we're delinquent before we call, I mean, part of your objective here would be if somebody were to call you and say, I've got this problem, can you help direct me to a place where I can get some help? And so you direct somebody, and maybe in one case, the MSHDA program works, and that's great. There are some other programs that you know about, you may direct them there, and it may help them to get on their feet and to get back through this temporary difficult time and make payments and get back to normal. But there may be a situation, and this happens fairly often in some of the more severe problems that you had talked about. Well, let's say there's only going to be one income from here on out instead of two. Or somehow there's been a change in employment that's going to mean I'm not going to be able to stay in my home. So number one, I think you want to make sure that you don't have delinquent payments, you don't start falling behind, you don't move into foreclosure, because then buying a second home or putting this one on the market is now going to be more difficult for you to make that transition, because your credit report's going to get hurt. Is that pretty much right?
That's correct.
Okay, now then Brenda, let's say they come to you and you direct them to MSHDA. They may or may not qualify. If they do, it's for a period of time. Let's say they determine they can't afford the same home for a long period of time, what would they then do? Would they then come back and maybe talk to you about what their options are from there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, after we explore all options and try to help somebody make a good decision, if they once determined that those weren't some viable options, and let's face it, some people, even if they did qualify for that, maybe are now seeking employment in a different geographic area that maybe makes a move a better scenario for them. Either any of those options, either way you look at it, the bottom line is once we explore all those options to determine what the best thing is for a homeowner to move forward, our job is to step in and start the process of helping them determine value on the home. We've all heard the term underwater, if they potentially owe more on their home than what the market value would bring today, which is true in many circumstances through no fault of their own, right. That we would help them start the process to work with their servicer or bank and investor. It's a complicated process, and it's not an easy process to navigate by yourself. And we'd like to think that we're there to, you know, help them through that process and make it as worry-free as possible. And you know, begin to determine value, come up with, there's a whole host of things to do, similar to what the I believe Step Forward program would be. A servicer would have the same type of format with regard to where do you stand financially, W-2s, tax returns, checking account statements, and take that information. Usually entails a hardship letter. You know, was it medical? Was it unemployment issues? Determining what the hardship is, and then, you know, getting the home on the market and hopefully entertaining offers and negotiating through the process and having a successful sale.
Great.
Lenders are understanding that that process is costing them less in the long run. They've come to terms with the fact that instead of fighting the process, they're doing a much better job of handling these short sales and working with people, because we've heard lots of figures. They've been thrown all around. What the exact ones are, I don't know, but an average administrative cost to bring a foreclosure to market and sell it is anywhere between $40,000 and $60,000. That doesn't include maintenance, you know, lawn, snow, water, you know, things like that. So,
all right, Mary and Brenda, if it's okay. I had a list of questions beforehand, and we tried to make it a discussion so that, you know, we'd answer those without, you know, going through question answer. But it would be easy enough for us to give frequently asked questions and that kind of information if somebody needed it. They can certainly contact my office, which is easy enough here at the State Senate. But are there other things that you would like to say that I didn't ask questions about? Maybe an overview of what people need to look at, or did I leave anything out?
The only additional recommendation that I would have is households that are truly unable to keep their home, that they have no other alternative. A very good step for them is to contact a foreclosure prevention counselor in their county. And in all of your districts, there are many counselors available for households. Those counselors will help them through a dignified exit out of that home. They will help them readjust their budget going forward so that they can live within their means, and also help them with credit repair, so down the road, when things turn around for them, they can buy that house again and contact your office. So, you know, they can leave with some dignity, and these homeownership counselors are wonderful.
I've heard about them. You know, when I was the chair of the banking committee a few years ago, we put together the 90-day waiting period and the work-through process with the counselors and all that. And we had some testimony. I became a little more familiar about the process and the situation that people were in. And what we tried to do is create a time frame when you can either A, turn things around, or B, recognize that you're not going to be able to stay there and leave not only with dignity but with a solid credit rating, et cetera, et cetera. That's what that legislation was intended to do. And earlier this session, we extended that for a longer period of time to help people that are in this situation. So I'm hoping that that was helpful. Brenda, is there anything that you would like to add that I may have forgot, or that you'd like to add on at the end here?
You know, I guess my only comment at this point would be that there's a lot of great programs. a lot of people are in this situation through no fault of their own. Don't be afraid to reach out. There's nothing embarrassing about it. Be proactive, we use that word. And we're all here to help. It's, you know, if we work through this process, we can stabilize neighborhoods, help bring values back, which the market's already seen that trend. There's good news. We've talked about some things today that are unfortunate, but there's good news in the market. There's stabilization in the areas that you represent, and so we just need to build on that and continue to move forward.
Well, I appreciate the realtors and other people in the community stepping out. MSHDA, I know this is part of what you do, but I think it's important that people realize that a foreclosure affects everybody, not just in the immediate neighborhood, but in the surrounding area as well. Right. Home value is probably the most significant. But having empty homes or homes that are not maintained is also not a good thing. But when one value goes down, everybody gets hit, right? So chipping in and trying to help out, make this a more meaningful experience, or at least helping people to get on their feet, also could have an economic impact on our communities and ourselves individually. Is that accurate?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, the other thing I wanted to say is that I said it before, this show is going to be going out in Jackson County, Washtenaw County, Monroe County. Anybody wants to contact us from those areas or other areas, that's fine. Mary, could you go over the contact information one more time, telephone number and website for people to access the program, please?
Yes, they can get to our assistance for this specific program, Help for the Hardest Hit, through stepforwardmichigan.org, or they can call 866-946-7432.
Great. And Brenda, if they wanted to contact you, your office, or should they call the Michigan Association of Realtors or the local office in Monroe or Jackson or Washtenaw County, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is at my office, which is 734-847-6702. And I would say absolutely reach out to any local association office if they don't know where to start as far as contacting a realtor, and they can connect them with somebody in their geographic area that could best represent them.
Well, I certainly appreciate the both of you being here. I know there are going to be people that are helped because you took the time to come over and talk today, and appreciate also the work that you do. You know, Michigan's in a time that is tough, but we seem to be coming around out of it. But we want individuals to be doing the same thing. You know, if they've gone through tough times, we want to help them out of it too. Mary Townley is with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, and Brenda Braden is the chair of the Government Affairs for the Monroe County Association of Realtors. Before we leave, I want the audience to know that Michigan expects the Hardest Hit Fund, the one that we've been talking about today, to help as many as 40,000 households from being foreclosed by the year 2014. This Hardest Hit Fund assistance is available right now. Mary, thank you very much again for being here. Brenda, thank you for being here. And folks, if you tuned in, we thank you for that. And if you know somebody that might be in a difficult situation, son, daughter, cousin, neighbor, whatever, please tell them about the program too, so we can take full advantage and help them out. This is Randy Richardville, and I thank you once again for joining in today on the Richardville Report.